Gun pulled on me at open house. I'll keep the story short because I've had to retell the story many times the last 2 days. I'm holding an open house. I had just arrived there after putting up my directional signs. I'm looking for somewhere to park in the neighborhood that isn't directly blocking parking spots for clients. I drive around the neighborhood and don't find much, so I make a U-turn in front of the house of a neighbor who lives across the street. I park my car in the driveway of the open house. I get out of my car and I hear very loud yelling, swearing. I'm confused, so I look around the corner and it's the neighbor from across the street. Old white fellow. He stands in his doorway and has a rifle pointed at me already. He yells, "If you come into my driveway again, I'm going to effing kill you." I put my hands up in disbelief and explain I'm a realtor just looking for parking. He then slams his door and goes in his home. I go into the open house property. This all happens within the span of a minute. I call the cops. Listing agent. Cops come. Take a statement. Can't do anything because they need a court-ordered warrant. Neighbor has a history of acting crazy like this towards other neighbors as well. He also has severe mental health issues and somehow still possesses firearms. Listing agent knew this already. Did not disclose this. He also happens to be the owner of the house being listed. He offers me Jack Daniels for my troubles. I happily accept. Moral of the story is be careful out there because there are some crazy fucking people out in the world. Also, what a failure of the local government for allowing this guy to own weapons. Anyways, stay safe out there, y'all. This all happened in a decent suburban neighborhood. Dense cul-de-sac. Also, this was only my 3rd open house ever, so it can't get worse than this, right? Sarcastic tone. This took a turn I was not expecting. Glad you're okay. Not sure if the Jack makes up for it. I can't believe he didn't get cited for brandishing. At a minimum, if you call the police chief to follow up on Monday, it would be interesting to know if that charge just doesn't exist in your area. Unbelievable. I'm glad you're okay. Cops definitely don't need a warrant to go talk to this guy. You can't just point guns at people and threaten them. BS, the cops can't do anything. That is called brandishing and it is a felony. I don't understand why the cops didn't do anything. I worked in law enforcement and that's felony menacing and they absolutely can and should arrest him for that. Is this in the States? Kentucky? So when this old guy finally shoots someone, it will be the gun's fault, not the inaction of the police or court system's failure to have taken his guns to protect others. Why have all of these laws if you're not going to enforce them? I can't believe he didn't disclose that the neighbor has severe mental health issues and somehow still possesses firearms. Edit S. If the cops know he's a problem and won't do anything about the guns, contact your local news. Tell them your story and how you've been told that he's a known problem but authorities won't do anything. We hear over and over about how shooters were known as dangerous to the police but they don't take action, hold their feet to a fire through the media and force action. Why did his race matter? I once had a tenant who was not expecting us. We had an appointment. But I'm going to go with the listing agent had more than one listing and thought it was for a not crazy tenant. See me look for a lockbox outside and open the door with a gun telling me to go away. We went away. No one said it would be easy. Do you disclose this to potential buyers? Cops come. Take a statement. Can't do anything. A story as old as time. Just my 2 cents, but fuck that listing agent for not giving you or others a heads up. I'd be livid if he knew the neighbor was dangerous, insane. He also happens to be the owner of the house being listed. I would have immediately pulled my signs and left after that confrontation. No drink on the planet makes up for what he did. He does not deserve your time, attention, or work to sell his property. And nobody deserves to live across the road from such an antisocial moron. Seriously. Fuck him. Can't get worse than this. Writer still alive, ain't she? Hold up, you come here telling of an old man pointing a gun at you, then throw the jack as a peace offering and you took it. WTH. Did you turn around in his driveway? I had a similar thing happen to me once. Guy got about 20 feet from me. My GFN friend pulled a pistol and cocked it. Same thing, crazy guy. It was at a campsite. We called the sheriff and had to argue with a deputy to even take him in for our safety. We were going to be camping next to him. Turns out it was like a $200 fine for brandishing. And this was California. Sorry that happened to you. I guess the LA was waiting for a buyer to find out about their new friend during escrow and back out rather than disclosing. Why does it help the story to say the guy is white? If he was black, would you have said? If he was Hispanics, would you have said? If race is not pertinent to the story, leave it out. If he was black, would you have mentioned it? What was the point of telling us he is white? Only a bigot would do that. Gave me some jack so all is forgiven, lol. Was this in Bend, lol? He might be a friend of mine. As a criminal defense attorney, I don't know your state, but I would bet $100 that it's just lazy, scared cops. The least they can do is take your statement and ask the old man for an interview. Coinflip says he'll admit to everything. If the cops felt like it, they could certainly use her statement as PC for arrest. Lazy, stupid, scaredy cat cops. I'm sorry this happened to you. I refuse to work open houses alone after two crazy-ass dangerous incidents both happened in quiet suburban neighborhoods. I'm a female, but it's just not worth the hassle. I bring a lender, a title rep, a new broker to teach them the ropes. Or failing that, my big-ass husband or 19-year-old son. Safe, close-knit neighborhood with ample street parking. Well, that house should sell easily. Moral of the story is be careful out there, because there are some crazy fucking people out in the world. Who knew? X200B. Nobody knew. Sounds similar to what happened to me back when I worked in real estate. In my case, I was carjacked by a young black fellow. Who knew real estate could be so dangerous, right? I guess know the neighborhood you are working. And then Kylie Jenner hands everyone a Jack and Pepsi. And then everyone clapped. Fake post. I'll take made up, exaggerated or incomplete story by a gun hater for $800, Alex. Had this happened to me before. Told him to pull the trigger or stop wasting my fucking time. I'm a realtor working Sunday while football is on. I want to die. And today is as good a day as any. He was so impressed with the size of my balls he let me list his house. Well, we have 25 of college students on mood meds. So it's not going to get any better. I'm sorry this happened to. It has nothing to do with owning firearms, it has to do with the health of this society, and it will just get worse and there is no stopping it. So maybe as an agent you should take CC classes. Just in case you ever need it. Also, don't think Poe are ever going to protect you or do something so that you feel is a fantasy. You must protect yourself, and you did a good job de-escalating it, but you must always have protection as an agent. That is one. You say you made a U-turn in front of his house. He says you were in his driveway. Were you on his property or not? I doubt he would have reacted that crazy if you weren't actually in his driveway. If you pulled up trespassing on his property, that's your bad. He is probably already super pissed because your open house sounds like it's causing a ton of traffic and parking issues for his neighborhood.